Well, this is it, boys and girls. It is the CPI Inflation Day. Obviously, a lot of enthusiasm yesterday because specifically things that would slow down because of tariff inventory building did slow down yesterday because of PPI, which unfortunately kind of puts a little bit of an asterisk on those low PPI numbers yesterday. That does not mean people were not enthusiastic about the PPI numbers yesterday. There was plenty of enthusiasm yesterday about the PPI numbers nonetheless. So now we are hoping we can be just as enthusiastic, and hopefully we do get low CPIs. I just want a bullish catalyst, okay? That's all I want, baby.
Bullish catalyst.
Just give me a bullish catalyst. That's all I want. Here we go, baby. CPI is, CPI month over month comes in a little hot at 0.4. We got 0.3 on the month over month, year over year matches 2.9 and 3.1 on the year over year X of food and energy. So in other words, CPI doesn't give us that great of a beat like PPI. Not a surprise. This is what we thought would happen yesterday. We were just hoping. We were hoping. Unfortunately, the initial candlestick on the Qs looks a little crazy. I don't think that's actually going to sustain. But I mean, broadly in expectations here, we do have initial claims that just moved up. Initial claims just went from 235,000 in survey, and in the prior report, 237,000, all the way up to 263,000. It's actually probably going to have a little bit more of an impact on markets today than the CPI report, because again, we broadly, as well as the Federal Reserve, expect that CPI. What's up, Samuel? Well, CPI is going to be a little warmer, as Jerome Powell tells us, broadly transitory, right? Transitory over a longer period of time rather than 1 point transitory. And so we can kind of write off CPI a little bit because of that. However, this unemployment claims number moving the way it just did, not ideal. That's an additional 30,000 above. And I will say, something that you have to remember about the unemployment claims number is it is exceptionally lagging. If you are waiting to start planning about a recession because for when the unemployment claim numbers come up, you're always going to be behind. And I mean, you will literally think we're in a recession when the recession is over. Because the recessions are always over historically. They're always over when unemployment claims hit peak. Now, we're not at peak right now. We're just starting to sneak up. But usually the sneak up happens when you're already in the recession, okay? So it's not a great leading indicator. It kind of tells you what you already know, right? But anyway, let's get into the detailed categories for the the CPI report to see if there are any bullish catalysts in here. What we always like to do is go to the right side. Go to the right side of the chart that's going to show us our seasonally adjusted change month over month from July to August, so we can see what is starting to heat up and what is starting to get a little toasty in here. Financial services at negative 0.7. This summer post-Liberation Day, you had a little bit of pop in financial services, those moving back down a little bit. Personal services, negative 0.1. That's good. Personal services here, plus 0.1. That's fine. Anything, honestly, plus or minus 0.1, not that big of a deal. You've got sporting event prices coming down after their pop last month here, negative 0.6, negative 0.9. Probably, honestly, because school's back, but then again, it's back. It's seasonally adjusted. That's why we like you looking at the seasonal adjustment. You do have pet services sneaking up. Not great. Pet services up 0.6. It's not like huge. It's really just like half of a point in terms of how much it contributes to the CPI, but whatever. Airfares, let's freaking go, baby. Airfares on sale again, 3 months in a row here. These are unadjusted numbers here. 3 months in a row, negative 1, negative 1.6, negative 1.5. This is great news. Then we've got motor vehicle fees, good old DMV fees. We got them at negative 0.1. I will take it. I'll take lower motor vehicle fees. I got vehicle insurance flat. That is fantastic. I love to see this, especially since vehicle insurance is one of those lagging categories. However, vehicle repair, which could be one of those leading categories, popping up 5%. Not that great. Car and truck rental, negative 6.9%. That's really good. Nursing homes, 0.3. That's relatively benign here. Hospital services, wow. Look how benign this is in some of these core services. 0 on core services. This is very good. Dental services, negative 0.7 after a hot month last month. Then we've got medical care services this month coming in at negative 0.1. Great. Finally, medical care services are coming down. We've got water sewage collections, 0.6. That's fine. Tenants household insurance, 0.6. Pretty small element here, but still, you started to see a little bit of housing inflation again. Rent of shelter going from 0.2 and then 0.2 to 0.4. Now that was honestly a little bit unexpected. Housing inflation tends to make up about a third of of CPI, about 35% of CPI, about 25% of the PCE numbers. Oh, did somebody say airfares were up? Oh, did I misread that? Hold on. Oh, I read the minus of inner city transportation. You're right. Thank you for catching me. Thank you. That's crap. Okay, so it goes from excitement to crap. It was actually inner city transportation that I got excited about. My fault. Airfares are up, those bastards. Anyway, all right. Good call. Thank you. You know, I can always rely on you to tell me when I've made a mistake. For that, I appreciate you. So rent of shelter, 0.4, great. We've got other goods. Okay, let's see how goods inflation is. Other goods, 0.4. Alcoholic beverages, 0.6 on alcoholic beverages. Bro, computer peripherals down 0.6 and computer software down 5.5. Wow. 5.5 on computer software, putting IT commodities down 0.3. I mean, I'll take the negative. Look at this, 9% on sewing machines. So if you're buying a sewing machine, you have the right to bitch about tariffs. Sporting goods, only 0.1, no tariffs there. Let's see here, pets and pet products compared to veterinary services. Wow, okay, that's a little different. See, pet products over here. You're actually sitting now at, what is this? The negative, yeah, 0.5. Okay, I'll take it. Video products, 0. Used cars and trucks, 0.6. Transportation, less motor fuel at 0.5. Yeah, watches. Jewelry up 6.8%. Jewelry and watches, a little bit of a pop over here. We've got footwear is down 0.4. I'll take it. We've got women and girls apparel down. We do have apparel in general actually starting to see a little bit of inflation here, 0.5. What's so hot? Oh, sorry, guys. It's my fault. Men's pants and shorts. It's the short shorts. I bought too many short shorts, and that's where the inflation is coming from. Can you believe that? Inflation in shorts. That just seems like an oxymoron. But anyway, tools and hardware, we're sitting at 0.8%. That's actually a decently hot category right there. Almost certainly tariffs flowing through right here. Indoor plants, whatever. Appliances, though, I'll take this. Major appliances down negative 1.1%, and specifically laundry being signaled out at negative 2.9%. I'll take it. Furniture and bedding in negative 0.3%, driven by other furniture. Lauren just bought an expensive diaper changing table. We apologize. All right, so let's see here. Other linens, negative 6.7, fine. Okay, so honestly, a lot of these categories are relatively benign. I think the housing pickup was a pisser. Because that had been trending down. See, the index for shelter rose 0.4% in August, was the largest factor. It's real estate going up again. It's because Warren Buffett is waking up to realize that housing is the next sector that's about to kick A double dollar signs. And when we kick A double dollar signs, it means house hike's going to kick A double dollar signs. Anyway, the food index increased 0.5. That's fine. We'll take that out of core anyway, but shelter is a big portion of core. We're going to have to look at super core, though. So super core will actually remove goods, and it will remove housing. So what you'll end up getting are these sort of like really core services, and we want to see if inflation spilled over to that. Based on what I just saw, I would argue the answer to that is no. Somebody says ECB conference coming up. Yeah. Christine Lagarde is going to tell you about how the data dependent. They are data dependent, and they held rates steady. Now it's probably a little too German there, but whatever. Let's see. It looks like auto costs started ticking up again. We've got new vehicles rising by 0.3. Did I miss that in the auto sector? Autos. Oops. Let's go over here and go to autos. Oh, apparently you can't Command F anymore these days. So car and truck rentals were down 6.9. Where are used? This is under services. Used cars, trucks. That's what we're looking for. And new. There it is. Oh, that's not that bad. New cars did pick up a little bit at 0.2, and new trucks at 0.3. New vehicles 0.3 across the board. Okay, then we've got core goods excluding the well, how should we phrase this? Well, I guess the way it's written, core goods excluding new and used vehicle gauge. Okay, so basically trying to understand outside of the fluctuations that you get in the autos market, right? Because the autos market is subject to quite a lot of fluctuations. So outside of the fluctuations of autos, okay, we're going to write that one down. That's going to be core goods excluding new used vehicles, 0.13%. That's pretty good because that's going to annualize. That's actually bullish. That's a bullish catalyst. That's going to annualize to just 1.56%. Annualizes to 1.56%, which is less than 2% target. Then again, that is just the good side. But those unemployment claims, again, I think are going to have a little bit more of a hit today. Unemployment claims, remember, those coming in about 30K more than expected, and they're a very lagging indicator. So when they go up, it was probably already too late. Anyway, let's write that down. Unemployment claims at about 30K over expectations. Not great. Okay, what else do we have? More billable. Okay, that's fine. Let's see here. The core was as expected, but CPI beat on the headline number. That's fine. We think this keeps 25 BP cut locked in. Okay, possible. We will see how the market is reacting. You've still got green on the indices, and the 10-year is about to drop below 4%, which is really good. And actually, look at how benign things are right now. You know what's happening? You see this 10-2 yield curve right here, how it's now 51? This is actually a sign that the bond market is pricing in, finally, they're going to wake up and start cutting rates. That's what the bond market is pricing in. So the bond market gets concerned. So 10-2 going down to 51 is a sign bond market is finally happy because previously the bond market was worried about Mr. Too Late not cutting. And the problem with Mr. Too Late not cutting is you increase the odds of a recession. However, when you get data for a data-dependent person, when you give them data that justifies cuts, when you give Powey data to justify cuts, bond market gets happy and the bond market rallies. Both, the 10s and the 2s, all of it. It's great. So falling under 4%, man, that would just be glorious again on the 10-year Treasury, which, mind you, mortgage rates are tied indirectly to the level of the 10-year Treasury yield. So if you're ever like applying for a mortgage or you're doing a refinance or whatever, and you're like, oh, I wonder what rates did today, don't bother your lender. Just go look at the 10-year Treasury. It is a fantastic proxy for mortgage rates. All right, continuing on with commentary here for the super core services, which strips out housing costs, is up 0.33 on the month. Oh. Okay, now that did decelerate from last the last read, which is good. That's excellent. So let's write that down. So that's going to be super core. Super core only 0.33%, down from 0.48% in July. That was like when we went through those core services. Did you see how I said, hey guys, like I don't really feel like this is like very hot. This feels good. That's the sort of gut check that we're checking out here, right? Okay, so remember CPI headline, 0.4, slightly hot, core and year-over-year figures at expectations. This, let's just say, aligns with our expectations that PPI was in a sort of inventory has been built low. Inventory has been built low. So do think about that for a moment. Remember, PPI is so heavily dependent on trade services. And once people are fully stocked up, you require fewer trade services. So then when the inventory has been built, your warehouses, your intermediaries, they're going to become a little bit more pricing competitive. Their PP is going to shrink a little bit, right? Nobody likes shrinkage, but you got to do what you got to do to stay in business. If you don't have business, you're going to shrink. Okay? You try to grow again. Everybody wants to go back to growth. So anyway, we've got, we have food at home jumped 0.6%. We usually ignore food at home, honestly, anyway. That's not a big deal. Let's see, treasuries continue to gain a little bit of steam. That's fine. Let's see if world interest rate probabilities are out worth 15 minutes. Still only expecting about a 10% chance of a 25 or 10% chance of a 50. Auto car started taking up again. I mean, that's nominal, 0.3%. Who cares? Yeah, motor vehicle maintenance and repairs. Okay, in fairness, I don't like that either. Okay, so why would I not like, well, first of all, I don't want any of this crap going up, but why specifically motor vehicle repair services? The problem with this is it ends up showing up in insurance in the future, right? Here's the headline category. It makes up about 1%. So again, it's like a super small component. I would say broadly, this feels like a broadly good report. That's my take on this. Like there's not really one thing that's like, things are exploding. Like the hottest thing you could really point to here is you kind of have a normalization of shelter. So I'm going to say that feels like a normalization of shelter. Remember, this is the Meet Kevin app. You could download the Meet Kevin app for free in the Meet Kevin app store, and then you get it under the data page. It's really easy, and you can customize the notifications you get for my YouTube videos as well. Because even if you press, like, I want all your notifications, Kevin, YouTube will only give you 3 a day. So if I post 4 videos, you're going to miss a notification. Guaranteed. Like, that's just YouTube's method. But anyway, it feels like a normalization of shelter propped up inflation here. Nothing super scary. However, the motor vehicle maintenance jumping 2.4%, only 1.03% weight of CPI, was a bit disappointing, but overall minor. Now, this, again, the reason this matters, it can show up in motor vehicle insurance in the future, right? Because it means their core costs have moved up. Honestly, I'd say this CPI report so far, this is a bullish catalyst, which, is a reminder that we've got coupon code bullish catalyst going. If you haven't seen it yet, let's see how the market's doing. So yesterday, with coupon code bullish catalyst in the alpha report in the morning before the market opened up, we called CoreWeave's rally. We were at $109. We sent out the alpha report. We said, this is a technical setup. You can't see the technical setup right here. We showed a technical setup. We go, I had a thesis that this is going to run to $125 soon by the end of the month. It literally ran there within 2 hours after opening. If you want those sort of calls, make sure you get that lifetime membership at meetkevin.com and you get that alpha report. Mind you also that in the pre-market yesterday, I said, guys, people are going to look at this PPI number and they're going to realize It's a temporary thing. And the Qs I think the Qs are, the top is in for the Qs. People are celebrating this low PPI, but they don't realize the components don't actually mean CPI is going to be low tomorrow. Sure enough, it wasn't. Okay. I mean, the old news, like we already know that at this point. But the point is, the Qs then bled the entire day. Also, another call yesterday. We made 2 calls in the Alpha report yesterday, CoreWeave and the Qs, and both of them nailed it. So if you want to be part of that, remember, you get that lifetime access to the Meet Kevin membership over at meetkevin.com. Just use coupon code BullishCatalyst. All right, let's see what else we got here. Auto cost, we got household furnishings, a little bit of note there. Apparel, okay, fine. The note on apparel up 0.5%, driven heavily by shorts. Yes, literally shorts. And yesterday I was shilling shorts so hard that I actually made an Amazon affiliate. Like, this is stupid. It's gonna make me like $5, but I just think it's fun. I made an affiliate link for shorts, and you go to meetkevin.com/shorts1, like the number 1, shorts1, or shorts2, and then the number 2. Anyway, I love those freaking things. I think I've bought like 25 pairs of those. Airline fares jumping 5.9. Yeah, that's the pisser, right? That was a pisser. Pisser of airlines up 5.9%, but that likely won't last post-summer IMO. I know these are seasonally adjusted, so I will say that, though that is seasonally adjusted. I'm compounding uncertainty plus post-summer, right? Like, you've got a lot more uncertainty this year than you did last year, and I think seasonally that'll be a little bit different. Okay, we've got, let's see here. Core CPI is now up 3.1 for August. Same as July, same as forecast, so nothing worse here. This is a relatively benign reading, I think. Relatively benign. There are, again, the coming back of housing inflation, that's probably what we have to really consider here, because that will be something that contributes to inflation for a long time. So I'm going to say that the issue here is housing disinflation was really helping dump U.S. inflation. It took a long time, basically 3 years. But it's possible the housing disinflation is over. This means we could sit a bit higher on CPI for a while, which isn't great. Probably, or I should say, possibly biases the Fed to, yes, cut, but cut slower. Probably leans us into 25 BP to make sure housing does not overheat. So in other words, there is a possibility that as the Fed cuts rates, and this is something to really think about as well, what happens if the Fed starts cutting and people are like, oh my gosh, housing's going to go to the moon, right? Think about the rationale. We don't have to bold that. Think about the rationale here. Fed cutting, let's go buy houses. That could lead to more housing inflation. Enthusiasm in that housing market. That's something to pay attention to. It could signal a real estate bottom. Fed might want to be cautious about that. It's a possibility. Have you ever seen the sell Excel buy chart from? It's oh gosh, it's an old stock market like meme, if you will. This is like a meme before there were memes. I think they called them cartoons. But this was a great one. If you haven't seen it before, I'll pull it up for you in just a moment. So we'll throw it in the Meet Kevin app as well. Okay, so here it is. Here's how the stock market works. You ready for this? All right. This is how the stock market functions. And this applies to the real estate part. So I'm bringing this up because it applies to the real estate part. Look at this. I've got a stock here that could really excel. Really excel? Excel? Sell? That's a little bit of your stock market mania for you. And then how does that turn around? Sell. This is madness. I can't take it anymore. Goodbye. Bye. Buy, 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 buy. And then it goes back to, I got a stock here. Oh, man. If you haven't seen that one before, please go steal it. Go to eax.com. Just go take a screenshot of it if you want. Or really, the app is a better way to do it. But anyway, so yeah, that's probably, this could lean us towards 25. Again, I know there was a lot of enthusiasm yesterday, but on PPI, but not enough enthusiasm here. I think none of this is bearish though, to the point where I would say that the market's going to sell off. Right. So I do think that is a fair statement to make. I think today, I'll call this CPI today, is nominally bullish. We'll call this. So I'll call this nominally bullish, confirms 25 BP cut, but leaves 50 uncertain, unless Fed really cares about those unemployment claims. In fairness, those unemployment claims, a little bit on the nasty side, okay? So expectations for claims, expectations 235K, prior 237K, prior revised down 1K. However, this survey comes in 28K above. So 28K above expectations. And then on continuing claims actually came in lower than expectations, but roughly the same as last. So no big movement here. Continuing claims, 1939K, roughly the same as 1939K last, and a bit below expectations. So there were some expectations of climbing unemployment claims, and we didn't see that here. So this is broadly good. We do have a University of Michigan sentiment coming up tomorrow. This isn't a big deal in my opinion. What's more of a big deal here is that we're going to be looking for the bond market's potential reaction, and maybe, I don't know, we might be in Fed blackout window, so we might not expect to get any kind of real enthusiasm from the Fed over the next few days. But it'd be nice to see a little bit more relaxation in bonds. Bonds a little bit volatile right here. You've basically got the 10-year flat right now, and no real movement over here on this. But you're seeing less shock factor priced in via the 10-2s. And again, I want you to remember why is that shock factor moving down on the 10-2s? There's a very simple reason that shock factor is moving down on the 10-2s, and it's this, that the market is finally under the impression that we are seeing a Fed that has now been armed with the data to actually cut. And therefore, the bond market is reacting to say, hey, that's good. That lowers our chance of the Federal Reserve making a policy mistake. Because if the baseline is that the Federal Reserve is going to make a policy mistake, then the bond market's going to get very nervous about that. However, if the bond market finally gets the data that shows some weakening, which would potentially justify the Fed cutting, all right then, well, then we're in a fantastic position. That's my opinion, obviously, on that. Again, on the day, I'm enthusiastic. I could argue that this is a bullish catalyst, not just because the coupon code is bullish catalyst and, we've got it set to expire very soon. We did a short extension on it, but really because PPI was bullish. CPI is okay. It's a balanced CPI report. I'm not highly worried about it. I'm going to look at what Nick T is saying about it. You never know. Sometimes Nick T's got something for us. He's got a Nick T with the T. But beyond that, no, this is fine. This is just fine. Let's take a look at this. Headline CPI was 0.38 in August, highest monthly moving read since January. That's fine. That's on the headline, right? That's partially driven by some of those food numbers. I'm really less concerned about that. You can instead look at the 3 and 6 month changes here. The 3-month annualized change, you got that pop right here, but this is not anything you've ever seen before. I mean, look at this. It goes up and down on the 3-month. Big deal. You've got the 6-month annualized change, not a big rocket ship over here. Nothing crazy. Like, it's not like every part of inflation is skyrocketing and we're going through that CPI report and we're like, oh my gosh, this is hot, this is hot, this is hot. Like, we really point to a few things. shorts getting more expensive. Oh no, not shorts getting more expensive. Bro, the shorts are already so cheap, they deserve to get more expensive. But beyond that, you've got, okay, airfares ticking up, which is a really discretionary category anyway. Like, you don't need most of the time, except for maybe business purposes. You typically don't need to go fly. So it's more of a discretionary. But really, I look at this chart, I don't see this as like massively concerning. And certainly even on that 3-month rate, not a big change over here. So again, I'm not freaking out about this. Let me see if Nick T's got anything else here. Let's see. He shows core prices. I mean, again, indistinguishable, mostly indistinguishable from the volatility that we've previously seen. And this is because I'm looking at those core components, and I've realized that in prior reports, we've had some core components where, like, damn, if that continues, it's bad. And so, for example, we had core goods that were rocketing at one point, 5.6% on an annualized basis. It doesn't look like we're seeing that continuance here, which is good. So again, modest. I'll call this. None of this seems massively out of trend or historical standards that fire under the hood of inflation feels like it's there. There are definitely some components that are tricking up, but feels less impactful this month than in prior. Less of that core goods skyrocket, plus like a spillover into broad services. Really limited to normalization in housing, plus apparel, and car maintenance, and airfares. That's benign. My take. Okay. Let's see what other what commentary y'all have here. First core PCE forecast just out 0.34 on the month over month. Yeah, that's again, like the Federal Reserve is going to be in a place where we could say we can cut 25 and just call that transitory overtime. Remember, that's what they're moving to. They're moving to transitory overtime. It's a funky phrase. It's a funky way to put it. Rip Charlie Kirk. Yes, rip Charlie Kirk. Honestly, I haven't seen Lauren this sort of emotional about like a tragedy, frankly, and there are tragedies all the time. But I think it just really hits home, especially like in influencer world, because it's like, bro, like I'm a YouTuber too. Yesterday it was actually weird. I will go look at real estate at night because I don't stop working, and I carry on my forehead a massive torch. So it's really like blinding if somebody walks up to me. This is a strategy, mind you. I do this on purpose because back when I worked in law enforcement, I know when you point a bright light at somebody, they can't see anything, man. Especially at night, it is the greatest tool. And this rando guy, I'm looking at a vacant property, and this rando nosy neighbor, which I found out was a nosy neighbor, rando just walks up while I'm in the property. And I heard some sounds about 20 seconds early that somebody was coming, but I'm like, I hate this. Don't walk up on me in the middle of the night, man. Somebody's gonna end up getting shot. But I was wearing the Meta glasses. And it was funny because I was wearing the Meta glasses, I was filming it, and the poor guy couldn't see me at all. He's got like his hand up. I mean, you gotta imagine this is probably what he saw. Like that. That's probably all he saw. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like after the Kirk thing yesterday, I'm like, well, you gotta be a little careful out here at night looking at properties, and then you get some rando walking up on you in the middle of the night. Now, you don't do that to people. Okay, so anyway, okay, Christine Lagarde right now, quick little note, she's saying disinflation process now that's interesting. Listen to this. This is actually relatable to our CPI report. Christine Lagarde of the European Central Bank says, make sure you go to meetkevin.com and get Meet Kevin's coupon code Bullish Catalyst before it expires.
Bullish Catalyst.
Okay, that's not actually what she said. She said, the disinflationary process is over. Oh, that's interesting, because remember how I said the disinflationary process of housing is over? That's what she's echoing. Think about that. She says disinflationary process is over. And she does say we are in a good place, but they're holding rates steady. Holding rates steady. Disinflationary process is over. We said this above about housing in the U.S., and I believe that. We are still in a good place. We are still in a good place. Inflation is where we want it to be, and we are not on a predetermined path. And the domestic economy is showing resilience. Okay, so that's Christine Lagarde for you. Makes sense. So we're going to now jump on over to the course member live stream. And in the course member live stream, we're going to be talking about strategies and trades for the day, just like we did yesterday. Remember, yesterday the call was the Qs are going to be down on the day and CoreWeave was going to be up. So we're going to be looking for some calls today, and I'll meet you over there, and we'll be talking about it. It'll be really fun. So thank you so much for coming over here and watching. We'll get to the course member live stream, and then we'll be back publicly later. Decision in the ECB, by the way, unanimous. Hopping over now to Course Member Live. Remember, go to meetkevin.com to get coupon code or use coupon code Bullish Catalyst. Lock in your price for life. Use it as a tax write-off. Most CPAs say you could write it off towards education expenses or investing expenses, investing-related expenses. Go check it out. Not only learn about entities, insurance, real estate, property management, stocks, analysis, but tax strategies for the end of the year, especially with the big, beautiful bill, with new lectures coming out at the end of the month. All right, folks.